to celebrate the adoption of the new Sustainable Development Goals.
It is revolutionary, isn't it? It encompasses education, health, hunger, economic growth, social justice, and environmental stewardship.
The fact that we have a universal agreement on the Sustainable Development Goals is a wonderful achievement. The first few are about ending extreme poverty. The next are about gender equality and social inclusion. And the final goals, by and large, are about environmental sustainability, the great three pillars of sustainable development.
But we still have much to achieve. At current levels, 94 million children under 5 will die over the next 15 years. And among those who survive, millions may not be able to attain their full development potential.
That 1 in 3 children is not achieving to their full potential, which means I ask you to look to the person on your left and the person on your right, and basically one of you is really not going to make it. That's a statistic we have to change.
For all children to survive and thrive, we must scale up interventions from before conception, through pregnancy and childbirth, and into early childhood.
This involves sometimes very difficult situations of working, well, in China, for instance, with hardest to reach left-behind children. It involves children very often coming from ethnic diverse settings. It involves inclusion of children with disabilities, which are very often just hidden.
So if we don't reach the most deprived children, we're not going to meet the SDG goals.
但是广义的多维的贫困不只是指的一个收入问题，它而且包括比如他的营养健康、他的教育、他的家庭生活环境。
Because poverty is not just about income. There are so many dimensions to poverty. It's about having the confidence and belief in yourself that I can succeed. Having that vision of what does success look like. I mean, that's all part of getting out of poverty.
也是消除贫困代际传递的治本之策。儿童是世界可持续发展的宝贵的资源。
And all of us know the importance of giving good nutrition to our children and how it impacts the development.
Majority of the world's children have malnutrition, stunting.
So the developing brain craves nourishment. It craves nutrition because early in life the brain uses most of the calories that we take into our bodies in food. It's growing and developing. It's a powerhouse.
For large part of Southeast Asia, stunting is a big problem. And once stunting occurs, we know that, there are some of these irreparable adverse influences.
And the problem is that there are so many millions of children who are in fact disadvantaged now. And if we don't do something soon to ensure that all children have relatively equal opportunity for growth and development and good health, then there's going to be even further problems in the world.
Where we're doing some very interesting work around integrated health and educational services or cognitive stimulation services, especially for children in more deprived areas, and especially where parents have had to leave their children behind. And I think there's some very good models of service provision in that early period. How do you support the caregivers? How do we make sure that children don't start falling behind very early on?
100% of vaccination for all children. There is 100% coverage of neonatal care. So from the time of conception to birth, mothers are being taken care of through the health centers. And then we also ensure that there are programs for the postnatal care as well.
Hầu hết trẻ em của chúng tôi được chăm sóc giáo dục 2 buổi một ngày và mỗi trường đều có nhân viên y tế để thực hiện chăm sóc sức khỏe ban đầu cho trẻ.
Now the world's political leaders have pledged that by the end of 2030 we will ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and the promotion of lifelong learning opportunities for all.
In Goal 4, where we talk about both starting with early childhood, primary education and secondary education for all children.
The challenge for education globally, including for early childhood education, is huge.
Many small schools are remote and without road access. Given these challenges, our targets are ambitious. But we have made significant progress over the 5 years, and there is enormous social demand for access to early childhood education, even in the most remote areas of the country.
And from 3 to 5 years before preschool, then we need maybe daycare centers and child development centers, especially for working mothers. More and more mothers are working outside.
So that's our big challenge in Myanmar, is to help ensure that the expanding early learning opportunities, with kindergarten now being introduced in every primary school across the country, is actually developmentally appropriate, that it's the right type of learning for young children.
If you want quality learning for very, very young children, the people handling them should also have quality educational qualification.
Previously, 5-year-olds would enter grade 1, which is really textbook-based and traditional learning approaches. But now they're introducing kindergarten for 5-year-olds, and children at 6 years of age will go to grade 1. So governments agreed not to provide textbooks to kindergarten children.
Play is the right of the child. It's Article 31 in the United Nations Rights of the Child. They have the right to have pleasure and recreate. So let's keep that at the platform of what we think about for children, because that's the way to build a better brain, through play.
So we are currently working with community to raise the awareness about educating children equality and to give the same opportunity to the girl and to the boys.
In our country, the girl student enrollment is more than boys nowadays.
توجه اساسی به تربیه معلمین مسلکی صورت گرفته و بیش از 33% معلمان اوناس می باشد. اقدامات خاصی روی دست گرفته شده تا تساوی جنسیتی در تعلیم مد نظر باشد.
Our business leaders from companies large and small believe that the best way to improve the workforce and the economy is to invest in children starting at the earliest ages.
What I think we have to do is raise the quality of the children that are out there, and I think that that's going to have the real huge impact.
A lot of companies realize that their current employees will do much better, be more productive, be more content, happier with their company if they know that the company respects their roles as parents and helps them make sure that their children are in good, high-quality settings while the parents are working.
All of us have to be there. No country in the world should be left behind. No child in this world should be left behind.
Even if you are from a group of children that has not done well in the past, you're from what's a poverty group or a group of parents who have low education, that in fact, even though those kids have not done well as a group in the past, they can do well. And they can do well over a long period of time.
You are better able to go to school, you learn more at school, your language skills are better, your social and emotional skills are clearer, and the evidence is very consistent.
If you invest early in these children, they can do as well as anybody else.
And we set up about 800 village early education center. So 30,000 of kids get this benefit from it. But still, our goal is at least 50,000 village need this kind of the center.
Because in the end, who really cares about their kids? Communities do.
The basic fabric of sustainability is a good natural environment and resources, of course. It doesn't take so much for us to actually integrate that into the policies and the programs that we design.
One key competency of our curriculum is sustainability. By itself. So even from the very young ages, children learn to live with their environment, to in sync with what's around them.
How we can use preschool services as a platform for protecting children.
When parents, particularly from marginalised or disadvantaged groups, become interested and captured by their child's early childhood experiences, they're more likely to be engaged in the school management system or the school governance system. And early childhood services are sometimes less threatening than schools.
And preschool services are a very, very important platform in many countries to address child protection issues.
This knowledge is irrefutable. The moral argument is strong. The investment case is persuasive. The Sustainable Development Goals momentum is behind us. But the power to act is in our hands.
到的就是关于如何跨部门的为儿童提供综合的卫生、教育、保护还有福利全面的一个措施。其实是希望我们这么多的合作伙伴能够大家共同来探讨清楚，使我们今后的行动都能够更有这个科学的依据。
It is a grand vision of our shared future. But we now all understand that we cannot get there without ensuring there is universal access to quality education and especially quality early childhood education.
For future, for make good society, for nation, this is most important thing.
We inaugurate the wife of president become a mother of early childhood program. And the wife of governor, the wife of the district head, the wife of mayor, the wife of sub-mayor, the wife of auntie, the wife of chief of village. And they have become energized and combining the importance of early childhood throughout the country for all people.
Bhutan remains fully committed to the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. At the same time, as a developing country, availability of adequate technical and financial assistance will continue to be a challenge.
Why, when we have the knowledge, why can't we just put the political commitment behind it? Why can't we put funding behind it? You know, families should be able to demand what's best for their kids because that's naturally what they want. Every parent wants the best for their child.
Now we need to bring the finance ministers and the education ministers together. Education is not a cost center for your government, it is the leading profit center for your government. There is no way forward for any country to achieve international competitiveness without a highly trained labor force in the 21st century.
Papua New Guinea is considering increasing investment in early childhood care and education because of the documented advantage of supporting development in the early years. I would like to emphasize here that the government has allocated 20% of the national budget on education.
Chính phủ Việt Nam thì luôn dành cái sự quan tâm cho giáo dục nói chung, trong đó có giáo dục mầm non. Cụ thể là tổng chi ngân sách cho giáo dục đã chiếm tới 20% ngân sách của nhà nước.
We have almost doubled the budget in 2 years for education. All the provincial governments are now allocating around 25% of their entire budgets towards education. But still, a lot more needs to be done.
Our Bangladesh is a highly populated country and 44% of the populations are children. So it is very important for us. At the future, our government think that those children we give special attention and they are our asset for the future.
Policy is a policy. Now it has to be acted upon. It has to be implemented.
中国一定要做出更大的努力。尤其是在儿童发展方面要有更多的投入，千万不能觉得我们已经做得很好，千万不能觉得说现在的这个问题是很容易解决的，不容易。要想做制度上面的变化，这就是我们现在要想、要做、要实实在在努力的事情。
Let's all come together. Let's all provide the level playing field to all children and equip them with the required knowledge, with the required tools, with the required expertise so that they can go out in the world and prove themselves.
受到早期教育的儿童他们就会享受会得到和城市的儿童一样的这种关爱，对他们未来的成长都是非常重要的。
Our shared conviction is clear. Children should be at the centre of all dimensions of sustainable development. Early childhood development is fundamental to reaching our vision of ending all preventable maternal, child and adolescent health deaths by 2030 and ensuring the well-being of all children everywhere.